Good afternoon and welcome to another segment of Off the Cuff with Deb. We are here live at the Staged Homes Real Estate Office located here at 335 Main Street in Vista. Today, as you know, we sponsor a lot of local organizations, businesses, and the youth. And I have asked Leila, my guest today, to join me. Leila actually was adopted by one of the young women next door that runs the design and construction business, and I am so thrilled to be partnered with her and doing a lot of our design and construction on our flip properties. And I asked her daughter to join me today to share her vision and her passion for the mission fields. Now, my mom was an orphan. She grew up in an orphanage until she got married, and she didn't have a background or a history, and she was actually never adopted. So as you know, if you've been following Staged Homes Real Estate, we actually support the local orphanages here at Casa de Aparo in Vista. And so I was thrilled to find out that you were from Russia, and that you were adopted, and that you had a lovely family adopt you as one of their own, right? But it wasn't just about being adopted. We have an international company here called ACE International, and what we do with ACE International is we actually bring the mission fields home for those people who can't go out into the mission fields. And so when I found out that after being adopted and growing up in an American family, you became a Christian, came to know the Lord, and God has called you out into the mission fields, into Africa of all places. Right. And I want you to tell me a little bit about that. Tell me, how was it that you got called to go to Africa? And tell me a little bit about your experience with your adoptive family here, and what a huge difference I know that made. Because you think about it, you were adopted. Yeah. You were one of the few blessed people that actually received a family. But beyond receiving a family here in the States, what she received far greater than that, and of far greater value and worth, as she received a family in heaven, because she is now a son and daughter of the King Most High, and she is adopted into his family. And that is the greatest adoption that you could ever have. And the fact that you are going to Africa to share the message of Christ, the message of love, and the message of peace is huge for us, and we want to support that here in our community. So tell me a little bit about that.
I am going to mission field. The thing that actually inspired me to do this, when I was 16, I saw a movie called Machine Gun Preacher, and that just kind of inspired me to do this whole thing. Just work with the kids and the families, and just because I kind of, know what they are going through, because I was adopted myself. And I don't know, I've just kind of, and yes, of course, I've had the heart to do it ever since I was 16. So I just kind of want to go out and kind of give forward, and
because you know how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
So how much did it mean to you?
It
right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it in terms of life, right?
Yeah.
It was a life giver for you.
Right.
And more than one. You have the life of a family that actually supported and raised you and loved on you. But beyond that, you have a life eternal.
Yeah. So I mean, I do have great parents, and they've taught me a lot, and obviously they taught me about God. I mean, obviously I wasn't a Christian when I came here, so I got to know God, and that just kind of, they obviously helped me with everything, and just to kind of get me through, the religion. So
yeah, and well, now it sounds like because it's in your heart, that now is the opportunity for you to share that and pay it forward, right? And are you doing this with young people in Africa? Is it an organization?
I will be going with the school, with a bunch of kids my age, and then I'll be meeting up with a lot of people from different parts of the world. So, so it's going to be an actual missionary school with Heidi Baker.
Heidi Baker, okay, that's awesome.
So she does the organization and stuff. So she has like few bases. I mean, she's got a lot of bases like everywhere.
That's awesome. So how can our audience here and your friends and your family support you on this missions trips? Because I know missions trips cost money. Right? That's the bottom line. It's like we're all called to do something, and I was telling you earlier, right? So you get to go on the mission fields. We might not get to go on the mission fields. We might have to stay here and work, which I obviously have to do. Right. But I want to support you on the mission field, so I'm going to make a pledge to you today to support you by pledging $100 towards your missions trip. And I'm going to challenge all of our viewers today to do the same. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a link below where you're going to have an opportunity to actually make a donation to help this young woman actually spread the message of Christ's love throughout the world by going to Africa because we can't go. So why don't we support this young woman so her efforts can be seen and your light can shine and you can share the true story of Christ's love because you received it, because you too were rescued and now brought in not only as an adoptive child in a family here in America, but also an adopted child in the kingdom of heaven. Right? So thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today live, and we look forward to next week.